Howdy hey, I'm Etrayhem and welcome back to my channel. Today we are cleaning the rest of my apartment after my month-long depression. So here I am in the living room. I started with picking up laundry and then picking up my daughter's toys. Then I'm going through with a Dollar General bag and picking up all of the trash. And then after that I will take the dishes into the kitchen, and I also have a bunch of little clips of my cats through this entire clean. So at this point in the video, I have started a load of towels in the washing machine, and while those are washing for about 35 minutes, I am in the living room picking everything up. So this whole span here is roughly 30 minutes, and what I'm doing next is I'm moving the furniture out of the way, and then I will be doing the sweep pile cleaning method, which is very helpful for me as an ADHD person. It's one of my favorite techniques to do, but basically it's you sweep everything into a pile and then you go through... Oh, he found something under the couch. It's you sweep everything into a pile and then you pick everything up out of it. So if there's things that are not trash, you go through that pile, you pick everything out that's not trash, and then you sweep everything that is trash and you throw that away, or dirt or whatever. And here is a close-up of me doing that. A lot of this was either dishes or my daughter's toys. Also, does anybody know an actual reason for why cats and children like to be in dirt piles? Like, I just don't get it. Anyway, most of what's in this pile is actually a bunch of shrimp food. So, yeah. And back to it after switching over the towels into the dryer and pretty much just moving the couch and doing the same thing I did with the chair. And a lot of what was underneath of here was toys, some of which was cat toys that I hadn't seen in a hot minute, let me tell you, like the laser, which is that little pink thing with hearts on it over there, if you can tell. And also I found a random Amazon tablet, like one of those Amazon Fires or whatever they are. It was that pink tablet that was over on the right side of the screen. I don't know where it came from. My partner and I have never bought a tablet for our daughter. We don't think she needs one at all. But I don't know. I guess it just appeared under our couch. I have no idea. But anyway, I'm just sweeping up now. And I'm not going to be mopping today just because it was getting late and I really wanted to be done cleaning. I didn't even clean the whole time that the towels were in the dryer. I just did this little bit and then I moved the couch back and fell on my knees. But my partner got home, so we just sat and relaxed. And to be totally honest, I completely forgot that there were towels in the dryer that night. So here I am now in the morning. Got them, folded them, and put them away. And then it is later in the day. My daughter is asleep. My partner is at his grandma's house to save money on gas for work the next day. And it is 11 p.m. roughly at the time of me recording this part. So I'm finally getting back into cleaning, whatever, fish. And I'm starting over here with this corner and I'm about to sweep here, but my cat, Gotham, is just, in my way. He has been in my way for most of this video, and I'm sure you'll notice that, but it's cute. So yeah, just sweeping up, and here he is being himself. And now we are moving on. I took Riddler off the top of the chair gently, and now I'm moving it out of the way and picking up things from underneath. This time I just went ahead and picked things up instead of sweeping it into a pile. Sometimes I just switch it up because I'll get bored, but you know, the general gist. And at this point I was actually starting to get really tired, but I told myself that I was going to finish this little section, and originally I was only going to finish this little bit that was underneath the chair, but then I decided to push forward a little bit more and pick up the rest of this trash and other miscellaneous things up until the pile of coats and stuff. So just bro, I did smack him, but not very hard. I barely touched him, to be totally honest, but sometimes I have to because he's so aggressive. He's not aggressive. I mean, he's a little aggressive, but he's like playful aggressive. He's only 5 months old. So like, I understand. He's got those nasty little kitten claws still, though. It's, But I remembered that I found that laser earlier, so here I'm playing with him with that. Oh my gosh, he's my silly little guy. Anyway, moving on. I am now picking up those leftover puzzle pieces and other big trash that was there, and I'm going to sweep up. And those plastic bags, I went ahead and put those in one of those like bag holder things. It's like a tube, and you kind of like stuff your bags in the top, and then you can pull them out one by one from the bottom. So I just went and stuffed those over into one of those, and I'll use those bags for other miscellaneous trash things like cat litter and other like stuff like this when I'm cleaning. So at this point, I was actually getting really, really tired, and I just wanted to finish up. But this is actually later in the day after I went to sleep. Pretty sure my daughter was napping, actually, at this point. So I'm going ahead and mopping. My favorite technique to use is going ahead and scrubbing more water. So, like, I don't really spin it out. I just kind of, like, let it sit on the draining part so that it can get the excess water out. And then I will put it on the floor, scrub that around a little bit. As you can see here, look, I have excess water. And then I'll go in again with a second pass after I've spun the mop out really well so it's more dry, and it'll pick the water up over by the fish tank. And in my opinion, that just works way better. It picks up more dirt and grime than just mopping around like one pass. I have to do 2 passes, otherwise I feel like it's not clean. You know what I mean? Also, that little coffee spill over there, I went ahead and started by dripping some of my excess water onto it first to let it soak a little bit. And then I'll come back to it, and it does end up coming off really easy. See? And I went ahead and used my fingernail to scrape off the little like dirt crumbs that were stuck in it, because I still don't have a scraper. I just have my fingernails. I need to go get a scraper. And after that, there was some water on that paper that was stuck to the floor too. That just came off super easy, so that was nice. But I'm sure you can see I'm going over multiple times to make sure all of the water is picked up and it's good. And now I am finally mopping this final section of the living room after mopping underneath of the furniture, which is the most annoying part. But this is the most walked area, so I actually cut out half of the mopping because I just felt like it was excess. It was really long, but I actually mopped over this area twice because this is the most high traffic part of the living room. So, yeah, you understand. And here we go with the mop dump. Yeah. It's pretty gross. That's nasty. I haven't mopped in a good long while, so I imagined it was going to be really gross. I probably should go over it again with another clean thing of water when I get home after my trip, but we're moving on to what's actually happening in the video. So I am now cleaning the front entry area, which I've said before in my last like kitchen clean video, where I did the front entry as well, was this is a dumping ground. When we walk in the door, we just drop our stuff, and it turns into a big mess and a big pile. And hold on one second. As I was saying though, this particular pile was created because my partner needed to use the bucket that we have like all of our hats and scarves and gloves in. Oh, also what I'm rolling up right now is a bag of those. They're like poop bags, but you put your baby's diaper in them for when you don't have somewhere to put their dirty diaper, so it doesn't get gross all over everything. Anyway, this particular pile happened because I had to dump out our thing that holds all of our hats, scarves, gloves, and stuff. And I went and grabbed this gray bin that I had folded up in the closet, and I'm going to put all of them into that basket. But the mess started because I dumped those out and just kind of left them on the floor and didn't put them in anything else at the time. And then it just turned into coats get thrown there, and we don't really have a lot of room for our shoes, so then shoes get thrown into that area as well, and then the cat trees got shoved over there somehow. There was dishes. A couple of my bags have fallen off of this bag rack that I have, and of course, because I've got way too many bags, I need to go through them, but here you can see I'm picking up the hats and the gloves and the scarves and throwing them over into that basket. So honestly, this closet's kind of full at the moment, and once winter passes and I'm like for sure confirmed that it's not going to be cold anymore, because listen, I recorded this in March. It's March, okay? We're going to keep our winter stuff out until the end of April because it snowed while I was recording this. Like this actual particular scene, it was snowing. So, yeah, we're going to keep our winter stuff out, but oh, look at my little hunter. Look at him with his prey. Oh my goodness. Oh, my silly little guy. Anyway, there was a lot of random miscellaneous laundry in here too that I went ahead and just put those into my giant laundry pile that's in the hallway. I probably have, probably 8 loads of laundry to do worth of stuff. You shouldn't have 8 loads worth of laundry worth of stuff. I need to go through my clothes because there's no reason for me to have that much stuff. You know what I mean? Because most of the laundry is my clothes. It's wild. Anyway, I am sweeping again, and this particular area is pretty bad. There's still like a lot of salt back from when it was super snowy. Okay. My partner tracked in snow. He works with the snow stuff. He's a landscaper, so. Okay. I guess I'm moving on to the table now. So this is supposed to be our dining table / gaming table for like board games and stuff. And it's always a mess. There's always stuff on it every time I try to clean. And it just got worse since I moved it next to the door. And I actually only moved it here because when we were rearranging the living room, I just moved it out of the way. And since it was next to the door, it became a dumping ground. So here I am. I'm going ahead. I'm going to... Oh, my guy. You... See... Look, that time you could tell I didn't actually hit him at all. I just kind of swung my hand near his face. But yeah, so I went ahead and took all of the stuff off of it. And then I'm going ahead with a paper towel and just using that to wipe the crumbs and stuff off of it first, like the debris. And then I went in with my vinegar water and sprayed it. And I'm just using the other side of the paper towel that didn't have dirt on it and a couple new paper towels to wipe it down. And yes, I'm still using my fingernails to scrape the stuff off. Like I said, I don't have a scraper. We're just gonna have to deal with my fingernails. And I caught a shoe, apparently. Okay. And now we are doing the seats. Yes, there are only 3 seats at the moment right here, but that is because we also use these seats as tables at the couches and stuff because they're just about the right height, especially for my daughter. They're a great height for her to eat at. Even if she's not sitting at the couch, if she just wants to sit on the floor or stand there or something, these are a great height for her to eat at. The regular size table is too, and my knees were getting tired on the floor, my legs, so I whatever, I'm sitting down to clean this, and I did get the sides. I didn't clean the sides on the table for some reason, but I'm putting these 3 seats back, and the one other seat, like I said, is over there, and put my crochet flowers that I made for Valentine's Day last year for my partner. And here I am sweeping. Again, I'm just picking up things as I go instead of sweeping into the pile, but then I am going to sweep everything into a pile because it's like, oh, that's too much work. And I'm sure you saw my daughter walk by. She woke up she was watching a movie. My bad. She came in to get a snack. So here I am again doing the sweeping everything into a pile and sorting through it. And I actually ended up putting some stuff that wasn't toys into her toy collection basket, which is what you saw earlier in front of the table. That basket, I used that to just pick up any toys that aren't in her room. But anyway, I did end up just throwing a couple random things in there. And look, you can see my cat trying to get some water. I felt really bad when I realized that they didn't have any water. I hadn't noticed, but it's one of those gravity waterers, so I figured that they'd have enough water. I guess they've run out, and I found my daughter's grand piano underneath of this table counter thing. I guess it's just been there for a while, so I'm going to put that in her room so she can actually access it and play with it, so that'll be nice. And over here, yes, I know that wall is not safe looking. It's completely falling apart, but when we first moved into this apartment, our dishwasher wasn't hooked up correctly, so it flooded the kitchen twice, and so that wall's degraded, the floor's all messed up in there, and it's been like that since we moved in a year and a half ago. But here I am now putting away dishes. These are what were clean from the dishwasher when I loaded it the other day and I didn't record it. But I really like this style of editing where it's like the super fast clip thing. A lot of those aesthetic videos do that, and I really liked it, so I wanted to try it. I know I do a lot in this video, like I do with loading the dishwasher, and I would have had it set so that, like, I would have edited it in a way so that it was the bottom and then the top, but I didn't feel like rearranging the footage. But it's still fun to watch. It's still interesting, in my opinion, so... And after I loaded that up, I went ahead and attacked the sink. I'm going to be washing dishes after I wash the sink, but the sink was really gross. It smelled like fish. It had nasty, slimy stuff on it. And I am using one of those pre-soaped steel wool things. So it's a steel wool sponge, but it had Dawn dish soap like powdered on it. So it was very soapy, like when you get it wet. And yes, I'm using it without gloves, and I definitely learned my lesson, because I definitely recommend wearing gloves when you use a steel in my finger as like kind of like splinters, but it was much thinner and it hurt way worse. So just keep that in mind, guys, because it was painful. Oh, and here I am. I cleaned that first pot and I was like, oh yeah, my cats need water. So I went ahead and cleaned their water bowl because I guess it had dry food in it in the bottom too. And it's also good to just wash it every time. But the technique I used was I put a paper towel inside of it with some hot water and a tiny bit of soap. And that tiny bit of soap went crazy, let me tell you. But I shook it up. You can also use that same technique for getting spaghetti stains out of Tupperware, and it works. I've tried it. But so I'm letting that sit there for a little while to let it just dry and cool down, because if you fill it up when it's hot right away, it'll taste like soap. I've learned that from cleaning my own bottles. But here, this is one of our favorite pans to use, and I learned after we used it that it is a copper bottom pan over there on the left side of the screen that I just washed. And so you cannot heat copper bottom pans higher than medium heat or they will burn. So I need to get something nice to get that all cleaned up. And we just bought a wok, actually. That's what I'm cleaning right now. We bought a wok because we love Chinese food. So I am going to be going ahead and looking up some recipes to use in the wok for food meal planning kind of thing. And we had every single knife apparently dirty, so you're just gonna see me cleaning a bunch of knives now, just knife after knife after knife. Which they're super easy to clean, but they can get rusty really fast if you don't wash them enough. Like if there's food stuck on them, they'll rust and kind of things like that. But you know, 'tis what it is. But yeah, there we go. I've moved on to the cake pan. And some of these do have rust spots in them, but whenever I use the cake pan, I use baking sheet in it. So same with these. We usually use these pans with tin foil or baking sheets on them. So even if they rust or whatever, they're okay. It's not a big deal. However, this one just got straight biscuits on it because, I don't know, I trusted it, I guess. But that one's clean now for the most part. I do also clean the backs of them because they can get kind of greasy in the oven because I haven't properly cleaned the oven, I don't think. This little vintage sippy cup came from my grandma and grandpa's house, one of the many that I have. The ones that live on the farm. We went there for Thanksgiving, Christmas. She got it at Christmas. And I'm going ahead with one of those like tiny little straw cleaners to clean up all the little gaps and stuff. But I use that same paper towel technique for that because I currently don't have a bottle cleaner, apparently. But here I am cleaning that sauce. We ordered from a ramen shop for the first time, and that sauce got all over that because we were using it as a plate, apparently. At least it was on the back, so it wasn't on the pretty actual like paint part of it, which I know, I'm sorry, that's just, I know, but it is what it is. You probably saw that if you watched the last video from last week. But here I'm cleaning one of those like miniature cup thing, what am I trying to say? Oh my gosh. Blenders, one of those mini cup blenders. Also, that cat food mat thing, I started washing with hot water, but it warped immediately, so I went ahead and washed it with cold water instead. And now we are moving on from the dishes, and I'm wiping down the counters. And yes, this is simply after 1 month. My partner drinks a bunch of coffee at home, so the coffee just gets all over the counter. I genuinely don't understand how counters get so nasty. I really genuinely don't know how they get this messy, but they do. This is also the counter where our cutting board goes. Jesus, sorry. This is the counter where our cutting board goes, and so we are always cutting things over here. So there's like onion skins stuck to the counter, and a veggie juice, meat juices, I guess, over there. But this counter over here isn't as bad. It's mostly like coffee there at the end. So, you know, but I'm still just using my vinegar water, and I'm actually using a little crochet square. It's one of the ones that I very first ever crocheted. It's kind of wonky, so I just kind of use it for cleaning. And I'm going to go ahead and wipe off the microwave. I could have cleaned the inside. It had some food and stuff in there, but I just didn't really feel like it at this point. So I just went ahead and wiped down the outside. It was a little grody, and I'm moving it out of the way so I can go clean this table counter area. Here we go. I switched the view, and there was some more miscellaneous things, trash stuff that just need thrown away, dishes, etc. Wow, I don't know why there's a ruler out here in the middle of the kitchen, but there was. And this one had the most like actual crumbs on it. There was also a couple piles of like stuck salt. It was salt. I was gonna say sugar, but it was actually salt. My daughter likes to play with the salt. We have those tubs of salt, and she like dumped out an entire tub of salt. She has done that multiple times, and I still sometimes forget to put the salt away, and she gets into it and makes a mess. So that one was on me because I left it where she could reach it. Normally we keep it up in the cabinet so she can't have access to it to make a mess, because salt is like sand and it stays on the floor forever. But moving on over to the stove and the little counters next to the stove, I did actually clean these off. I wiped down the stove and everything, but my footage will cut out a little bit. So I end up wiping the left side down, but the right side, you don't see me wipe down the whole thing because like I said, my footage cut out. It was so annoying. But moving them out of the way. And actually at that point, after I wiped down those counters though, we had to leave to go to meet with our lawyer about some things. So that happened, and it was a good meeting, so all worked out. And then my mother-in-law came over. So this is the same day. This is just after the appointment. So my mother-in-law is visiting. She's talking to me, and she originally was going to sweep up the kitchen because it's all clean except for the floor, right? And I was like, no, wait, let me get my camera, I'll do it. And so I'm sweeping, and I'm talking to her about what happened at the lawyer's appointment and how my cousin and I are mad at each other. We both had rights to be mad. We were upset. She had a really bad day, but she was giving me attitude. I mean, granted, like, I wasn't prepared for them to come get me, but whatever. I was venting about it to her a little bit, and it's fine. And here we are now. I'm cleaning off my daughter's table. My mother-in-law is still here, and my partner is now here, but I'm getting this quickly done and wiped down so that I can get it out of the way. I'm going to put it in her room, and I guess I decided to organize the food that's in the table and move that. And I actually ended up putting those in the drawers. in her chairs, the little, like, they're fabric bins, but they're whatever. The chairs. They're in the chairs. The drawers are in the chairs. I ended up putting all those food toys in the chairs instead, and went ahead and put, like, her crayons and her coloring books and her flashcards and her, like, learning books, like the ABCs and numbers and stuff like that, and like calligraphy and things like that. I went ahead and put those inside of the table instead, and put the food in the drawers, which I didn't get on camera. I did that when I was in her room trying to figure out where to put it. But for now, I am over here just picking things up. And before you ask, like, if they're here, why aren't they helping you clean up? Well, that's because I'm recording a video, and I told them, like, let me do this. I'm going to clean this part. So here I am taking the cat food and water away too. I swept underneath of those, and I am mopping now, and I actually forgot to hit record. So all I have of the kitchen is that back corner, and then I have the front entry. So yeah, I am mopping in socks. Just whatever. I didn't really care. But my mother-in-law and Jay were standing on the other side in the kitchen. Jay was making coffee, and they were talking to me. And also we're just like, are you almost done? Can we walk through yet? And I was like, I'd be done faster if you'd shut up. But, but yeah, I was mopping, and my daughter's going to run through here. And yeah, there she goes in her little rainbow dress. She's so cute. But here is the water dump. It's really gross. Like I said, I should probably go ahead and remop the whole apartment when I get home. But after this, I'm setting up the little cat food and water station. It's now at that back wall where my daughter's table was, and it's much more open for them now. So right after they eat, I'm going to show you the before and after pictures. So thank you so much for watching, and if you made it to the end, bye!